Narayam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Diri Nashtaprahecho Vadrecho Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhakti Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 11, the Bedi Kirtan pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So all the devotees from Navadvip have come to Jagannath Puri and they met Mahaprabhu at Gambhira. Mahaprabhu is still meeting everybody, and this is a this is the text 159. Acharya Ratna Vidyanidhi Pandit Gadadhar Ganga Das Hari Bhatt Acharya Purandar प्रत्येक सबार प्रभु करि गुण गान पुनः पुनः आलंगिया करिला समान. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then again and again embraced all the devotees, including Acharya Ratna, Vidyanidhi, Pandit Gadadhar, Gangadas, Hari Bhatt, and Acharya Purandar. The Lord described their good qualities and glorified them again and again. Sabare sammani prabhu haila ullasa Haridase na dekhiya kahe kaha Haridasa. After thus offering respect to each and every devotee, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very jubilant. However, not seeing Haridas Thakur, he inquired, "Where is Haridas?" Dur haite Haridas Gosai dekhiya Rajpath prante padi ache dandavat haya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then saw in the distance that Haridas Thakur was lying down flat on the road, offering obeisances. Milane sthane asi Prabhu re na milila, Rajpath prante dure padiya rahi. Haridas Thakur did not come to the Lord's meeting place, but remained fallen flat on the common road at a distance. Bhakta Sabha Dhaya Aila Haridas Nite, Prabhu tomai milite chahe chalaha tvarite. All the devotees and went to Haridas Thakur saying, "The Lord wants to meet you. Please come immediately." Haridas kahe mohi neech jati charan, mandir nikate yate mor nahi adhikara. Haridas Thakur replied, "I cannot go near the temple because I am a low caste, abominable person. I have no authority to go there." Although Haridas Thakur was a highly exalted Vaishnava, that he was addressed as Haridas Goswami, he still did not like to disturb the common sense of the general populace. Haridas Thakur was so exalted that he was addressed as Thakur and Gosai, and these titles are offered to the most advanced Vaishnavas. The spiritual master is generally called Gosai, and Thakur is used to address the Paramhamsas, those in the topmost rank of spirituality. Nonetheless, Haridas Thakur did not want to go near the temple, although he was called there by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. The Jagannath temple still accepts only those Hindus who are in the Varnashram order. Other castes, especially those who are not Hindu, are not allowed to enter the temple. This is a long-standing regulation, and thus Haridas Thakur, although certainly competent and qualified to enter the temple, did not want even to go near it. This is called Vaishnava humility. So this is Haridas Thakur. He was a Gosai Thakur, topmost Vaishnava. But even he did not want to break the tradition of Jagannath temple. He accepted it. That is humility. And this humility is what makes the devotees very, very dear to the Lord. Very dear. Even Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, when they came to Jagannath Puri, they did not go inside the temple, because they considered themselves that we had almost become Muslims. Almost. Because they were given the Muslim titles when they were serving under Nawab Hussain Shah. And then that's why they said, we are not qualified. So it's not that just by going inside the temple, taking darshan of the Lord, one gets all the mercy of the Lord. It's the qualities that one has: humility, tolerance, patience. This is what attracts the mercy of the Lord. Well, obviously, those who can go and take darshan, they definitely get the mercy. But if we become proud of ourselves, that see, oh, I've been inside and I've been there for so many times and such a long time and this and that, and we become proud of our achievements, then that will not attract the mercy of the Lord. And that will be against the devotional principles. So here Haridas Thakur, although he is far away, but he was being called by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, come closer, come closer. Nibrite tota madhya sthan jadi paya, taha padi raho ekale kala gunaya. Haridas Thakur then expressed his desire, if I could just get a solitary place near the temple, I could stay there alone and pass my time. Jagannath sevakera mor sparsh nahi haya, taha padi raho mor ei vanchahaya. I do not wish the servants of Lord Jagannath to touch me. I would remain there in the garden alone. That is my desire. Ei katha lokagiya prabhu rekahi, shuniya prabhur mane vada sukha ayya. When this message was relayed to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by the people, the Lord became very happy to hear it. Hena kale kashi mishra padi chadui jana, ashiya karila prabhu charana vandana. At this time, Kashi Mishra, along with the superintendent of the temple, came and offered his respects unto the lotus feet of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sarva Vaishnava dekhi sukh bada paila, yatha yogya sabhasane anande milila. Upon seeing all the Vaishnavas together, Kashi Mishra and the superintendent became very happy. With great happiness, they met with the devotees in a befitting manner. प्रभुपद दुई जने कैले निवेदने आज्ञा देह वैष्णवेर करी समाधाने. Both submitted to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please give us orders so that we can make proper arrangements to accommodate all the Vaishnavas. Sabhar kari yachi vasa grihasthana mahaprasha sabhakare kari samadhan. Accommodations have been arranged for all the Vaishnavas. Now let us distribute Mahaprasadam to all of them. Prabhu kahe Gopinath, yaha Vaishnav laya, yaha kahe Vasa, taha deha laya. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately told Gopinath Acharya, please go with the Vaishnavas and accommodate them in whatever residences Kashi Mishra and the temple superintendent offer. Mahaprasad anna deha vaninath sthane, sarva Vaishnavera iho, karibe samadhane. Then the Lord told Kashi Mishra and the temple superintendent, as for the remnants of food left by Jagannath, let them be divided to Vaninath Rai's charge, for he can take care of all the Vaishnavas and distribute Mahaprasadam to them. Amara nikate pushpe udyane ek khani ghar ache parama nirjane. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, nearby my place, in this garden of flowers, is a single room that is very solitary. Sai ghar ama ke deha ache prayojana, nibrite vasiya taha kariba smaran. Please give that room to me, for I have a need for it. Indeed, I shall remember that the lotus feet of the Lord sitting in that solitary place. This statement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is significant. Nibrite vasiyataha karivasmara. I shall sit down there in that solitary place and remember the lotus feet of the Lord. Neophyte students are not to imitate sitting in a solitary place and remembering the lotus feet of the Lord by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. We should always remember that it was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself who wanted such a place, either for himself or Haridas Thakur. So Haridas Thakur is a Namacharya, so he could chant in a solitary place. And Mahaprabhu also, but not for us. No one can suddenly attain the level of Haridas Thakur and sit down in a solitary place to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and remember the lotus feet of the Lord. Only an exalted person like Haridas Thakur or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is personally exhibiting the proper behavior for an Acharya, can engage in such a practice. At the present moment, we see that some of the members of International Society for Krishna Consciousness are tending to leave their preaching activities in order to sit in a solitary place. This is not a very good sign. See, for us, preaching is very important, whatever time we can dedicate to that. But for the full-time devotees in the temple, their main service is preaching. It is a fact that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has condemned this process for neophytes. He has even stated in a song, Pratishtharatare nirjanere ghare, tava harinama kevala kaitava. Sitting in a solitary place, intending to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is considered a cheating process. Means for neophytes. This practice is not possible for neophytes at all. Neophyte devotee must act and work very laboriously under the directions of the spiritual master. And he must thus preach the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Only after maturing in devotion can he sit down in a solitary place to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself did. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to teach us a lesson, he traveled all over India continuously for 6 years and only then retired at Jagannath Puri. Even at Jagannath Puri, the Lord chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in great meetings at the Jagannath temple. The point is that one should not try to imitate Haridas Thakur at the beginning of one's transcendental life. One must first become very mature in devotion and thus receive the approval of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Only at such a time may one actually sit down peacefully in a solitary place to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and remember the lotus feet of the Lord. The senses are very strong, and if a neophyte devotee, imitates Haridas Thakur, his enemies, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moh, Mad, Matsarya, will disturb and fatigue him. So instead of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the neophyte will simply sleep soundly. Preaching work is meant for advanced devotees, and when an advanced devotee is further elevated on the devotional scale, he may retire to chant the Hare Krishna mantra in a solitary place. However, if one simply imitates advanced spiritual life, he will fall down, just like the Sahajiyas in Vrindavan. So this is the safest path for us to make progress. Is, of course, we have to do our chanting, whatever minimum we have adopted, and preach. Preach, somehow preach. Give the message of Mahaprabhu to others, and then slowly we make progress, and then we'll get the mercy of Mahaprabhu. And then if we have developed taste for chanting, then we can sit down in a solitary place to chant. Of course, this is the mood of devotees to finally sit down and just absorb oneself in chanting. But preaching, by meeting people and giving them Krishna consciousness, that really pleases the Lord. And that's how we make progress. Mishra kahe sav tomar chaha ki karane, apan ichhaye laha, Yehi tomara maan hai. Kashi Mishra then told Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everything belongs to you. What's the use of you begging? By your own will, you can take whatever you like. Ami doi hai tomar das agyakari. Yehi chaha sehi agya deha kripakari. My Lord, we are your two servants and are here just to carry out your orders. By your mercy, please tell us to do whatever you want. Etakahi dui jane vidai lail, Gopinath Vanina, Dunhe Sange Neela. Saying this, Kashi Mishra and the temple inspector took their leave, and Gopinath and Vaninath went with them. Gopinath dekhaila sabavasa ghara, Vaninath thai dela prasada vistara. Gopinath was then shown all the residential places, and Vaninath was given large quantities of food, Mahaprasadam, left by Lord Jagannath. Vaninath aila bahu prasad pitha laya, Gopinath aila vasa sanskara kariya. Thus Vaninath Rai returned with large quantities of Lord Jagannath's food remnants, including cakes and other good eatables. Gopinath Acharya also returned after cleansing all the residential quarters. Mahaprabhu kahe shun sarva Vaishnav gana, nija nija vasa sabe karaha gamana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then addressed all the Vaishnavas and requested that they listen to him. He said, now you can go to your respective residential quarters. Samudra snanakari kara chuda darashan, tabe aji yaha asi karibe bhojan. Go to the sea and bathe and look at the top of the temple. After so doing, please come back here and take your lunch. So look at the top of the temple means look at the chakra, Sudarshan chakra. That is as good as taking darshan of the Lord actually. Prabhu Namaskari Sabe Vasate Chalila Gopinatacharya Sabe Vasasthan Dila. After offering obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees departed for their residences, and Gopinath Acharya showed them their respective quarters. Mahaprabhu aila tabe Haridas milane, Haridas kare preme, Nama Sankirtane. After this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to meet Haridas Thakur, and he saw him engaged in chanting the Mahamantra with ecstatic love. Haridas chanted Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prabhu dekhi pade aage dandavat haya, Prabhu alingan kaila, tare uthaya. As soon as Haridas Thakur saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he immediately fell down like a stick to offer him obeisances. And Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raised him up and embraced him. Dui jane prema veshe kare na krandane, Prabhu gune bhritya vikal, Prabhu bhritya gune. Then both the Lord and his servant began to cry in ecstatic love. Indeed, the Lord was transformed by the qualities of his servant, and the servant was transformed by the qualities of his master. Mayavadi philosophers say that the living entity and the Supreme Lord are non-different, and therefore they equate the transformation of the living entity with the transformation of the Lord. In other words, Mayavadis say that if the living entity is pleased, the Lord is also pleased. And if the living entity is displeased, the Lord is also displeased. By juggling words in this way, Mayavadis try to prove that there is no difference between the living entity and the Lord. This, however, is not a fact. In this verse, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains, Prabhu Gune Bhritya Vikal, Prabhu Bhritya Gune. The Lord and the living entity are not equal, for the Lord is always a master and the living entity is always a servant. Transformation takes place due to transcendental qualities, and it is thus said that the servant of the Lord is the heart of the Lord, and the Lord is the heart of the servant. This is also explained by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. So the Lord is always eager to congratulate the servant because of the servant's transcendental qualities. The servant pleasingly renders service unto the Lord, and the Lord also very pleasingly reciprocates, rendering even more service unto the servant. And this is something no other religion teaches or can even conceive of. The servant is serving the Lord, and the Lord is serving the servant, and he is rendering even more service. Who can teach this? But this is bhakti, actually. This is the love between the Lord and his devotees. Haridas kahe Prabhu nachuniyo more, moi niche asprishya parama pamare. Haridas Thakur said, my dear Lord, please do not touch me, for I am most fallen and untouchable, and I am the lowest among men. प्रभु कहे तुम स्पर्शी पवित्र है तुम्हारे पवित्र धर्म नाही कामाते. The Lord said, I wish to touch you just to be purified, for your purified activities do not exist in me. This is an example of the reciprocation of feelings between master and the servant. The servant thinks that he is most impure and that the master should not touch him. And the master thinks that because he has become impure by associating with so many impure living entities, he should touch a pure devotee like Haridas Thakur just to purify himself. Of course, the Lord will never get impure, but this is what he's saying. I have become impure, now I have to touch you to purify myself. Actually, both the servant and the master are already purified because neither of them is in touch with the impurities of material existence. They are already equal in quality because both of them are the purest. There is a difference in quantity, however, because a master is unlimited and the servant is limited. Consequently, the servant always remains subordinate to the master, and this relationship is eternal and undisturbed. Servant always remains subordinate, and this relationship is eternal and undisturbed. It's just the mercy of the Lord that sometimes he takes an inferior position for his devotee. Otherwise, a servant is always subordinate to the master. Just like in case of Arjuna, Krishna took the position of a charioteer for Arjuna. For when Nanda Baba used to come home in the evening, so he would ask Krishna that go bring my slippers, the residential slippers. He would take off the outside shoes outside. And Krishna would run inside, put the slippers of Nanda Baba on his head and bring them to him. He's the Supreme Lord, but he loves to do service for his devotees. As soon as a servant feels like becoming the master, he falls into Maya. Thus, it is by misuse of free will that one falls under the influence of Maya. So, this is also a fact that many times we get into this argument. How did we fall down from spiritual world when everything is pure over there? We are pure. How did we fall down? With here, Prabhupada, as soon as the servant feels like becoming the master. So this is what Maya does. In Maya, we all are in Maya. We think we are not going to be, But we think we are the masters, we are the enjoyers, we are the proprietors, we are the controllers. So when we have these desires, somehow we develop these desires, and Krishna says, okay, you cannot do that in the spiritual world. Try that in the material world. So we are here. And this is what everybody, every single living entity, whether in human body or animal body or any other body, we just want to be the masters, controllers, proprietors, enjoyers of our uh, of our circle, or if we become little more powerful, then the circle increases. But even though the circle increases and we have become powerful, first of all, we cannot control everything. And secondly, for how long we can control. Everything is temporary. So why bother? That's a $1,000,000 question. Why bother? Why waste our time? Bhakti is, Prabhupada again says, Krishna consciousness, Krishna. It means what? We understand who we are. We are infinitesimal spirit souls. Who Krishna is, whether we think of Krishna as little baby Krishna or youthful Krishna, Krishna has shown his universal form in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam both. So understand who Krishna is, what's his position, and then what is our relationship, and work on that relationship. Ultimately, we are servants of Krishna. So sooner we understand that, sooner we come to this um, knowledge and work on this, which is devotional service, then we are getting eligible to become free from the clutches of Maya. Actually, then that consciousness goes with us in our job and business also. I'm not the controller, I'm not the master, I'm just a servant. Of course, at a job, whatever we are doing, we have to do it properly. But understanding Krishna has somehow given me this power position or service job. So I can, first of all, I have a proper attitude at work, proper consciousness while I'm working, and no, obviously, no cheating mentality. And then be always grateful to Krishna for having provided me with this, so I can take care of my family, so we all can make progress seriously. Otherwise, there's no need to do anything else. But if we work in this way and being grateful for everything, Krishna has given. Sometimes we get angry at our boss or our co-workers. No, this is what Krishna has provided. And this is what he has done, which could be the best thing for me. All I have to do is serve. That's it. So this is all from body consciousness to Krishna consciousness. The Mayavadi philosophers try to explain the equality of master and servant in terms of quantity, but they fail to explain why, if the master and servant are equal, the servant falls victim to Maya. They try to explain that when the servant, the living entity, is out of the clutches of Maya, he immediately becomes a so-called master again. Such an explanation is never satisfactory. Being unlimited, the master cannot be a victim of Maya, for in such a case, his unlimitedness would be crippled or limited. Thus, the Mayavad explanation is not correct. The fact is that the master is always a master and unlimited, and the servant, being limited, is sometimes curtailed by the influence of Maya. Maya is also the master's energy, and is also unlimited. Therefore, the limited servant or limited living entity is forced to remain under the master or master's potency, Maya. So it's up to us. Where do we want to be? We are always going to be servant. We are always going to be limited and infinitesimal and under some energy of Krishna, either Mahamaya or Yogmaya. Now it's up to us. Where do we want to be? Being freed from Maya's influence, one can again become a pure servant and equal qualitatively to the Lord. The relationship between master and servant continues due to their being unlimited and limited respectively. क्षणे क्षणे कर तुम्ही सर्व तीर्थ स्नान क्षणे क्षणे कर तुम्ही यज्ञ तप उदान. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exalted Haridas Thakur, stating at every moment you take your bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage, and at every moment you perform great sacrifices, austerity, charity. Nirantara karachari veda adhyayana tvijanyasi haite tumi parama pavan. You're constantly studying the four Vedas and you're far better than any Brahman or sannyasi. And this is what Bhagavatam says, Aho Batshapacho to Garyanya Jivagre Vartate Nam Tubhyam. Teko Stapaste Juhu Sasnurarya Brahmanu Churra Nama Grinanti Yate. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then recited the following words. My dear Lord, one who always keeps your holy name on his tongue, and not even tongue, it says Jiva Agre, on the tip of the tongue, becomes greater than an initiated Brahman. Although he may be born in a family of dog eaters and therefore by material calculation may be the lowest among men, he is still glorious. This is the wonderful effect of chanting the holy names of the Lord. It is therefore concluded that one who chants the holy name of the Lord should be understood to have performed all kinds of austerities and great sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. He has already taken his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. He has studied all the Vedas and is actually an Aryan. Aryan means civilized, spiritually civilized. The word Aryan means advanced. Unless one is spiritually advanced, he cannot be called an Aryan. And this is the difference between Aryan and non-Aryan. Non-Aryans are those who are not spiritually advanced. By following the Vedic culture, by performing great sacrifices, and by becoming a strict follower of the Vedic instructions, one may become a Brahman, a sannyasi, or an Aryan. It is not possible to become a Brahman, sannyasi, or Aryan without being properly qualified. So Bhagavad Dharma never allows one to become a cheap Brahman, sannyasi, or Aryan. The qualities or qualifications described herein are quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam and were spoken by Devahuti, the mother of Kapildev, when she understood the influence of devotional service. In this way, Devahuti praised the devotee, pointing out his greatness in all respects. So this is what Mahaprabhu is saying, because you always chanting means you have done everything else, all kinds of tapasya, dhan, dham yatra, everything, studies of scriptures, you have done everything. Ete bali tare laya gela pushpo dhyane, ati nivrite tare dilava sasthane. Saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Haridas Thakur within the flower garden, and there in a very secluded place, he showed him his residence. So this is the place which is now known as Siddhabakul. Ei sthane rahi kar nama sankirtana pratidin ashiyami kariba milan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested Haridas Thakur, remain here and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I shall personally come here to meet you daily. Mandirera chakra dekhi kariha pranam, ei thai tomara sibe prasadam. Remain here peacefully and look at the chakra on the top of the temple and offer obeisances. As far as your prasadam is concerned, I shall arrange to have that sent here. Since he was born in a Muslim family, Srila Hardas Thakur could not enter the temple of Jagannath due to temple restrictions. Nonetheless, he was recognized by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Namacharya Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, however, considered himself unfit to enter the Jagannath temple. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could have personally taken Haridas Thakur into the Jagannath temple if he wished, but the Lord did not like to disturb a popular custom. Consequently, the Lord asked his servant simply to look at the Vishnu wheel on top of the temple and offer obeisances. This means that if one is not allowed to enter the temple, or if he thinks himself unfit to enter the temple, he can look at the wheel from outside the temple, and that is as good as seeing the deity within. So this is what the injunction is. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu promised to come daily to see Srila Hardas Thakur, and this indicates that Srila Hardas Thakur was so advanced in spiritual life that although considered unfit to enter the temple, he was being personally visited by the Lord every day. Nor was there any need for his going outside his residence to collect food. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu assured Haridas Thakur that the remnants of his food would be sent here. As the Lord states in Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham, I arrange all life's necessities for my devotees. A reference is made here for those who are very anxious to imitate the behavior of Haridas Thakur in an unnatural way. One must receive the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or his representative before adopting such a way of life. The duty of a pure devotee or servant of the Lord is to carry out the order of the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Nityanand Prabhu to go to Bengal and preach. And he asked the Goswamis, Rup and Sanatan, to go to Vrindavan and excavate the lost places of pilgrimage. In this case, the Lord asked Haridas Thakur to remain there at Jagannath Puri and constantly chant the holy names of the Lord. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave different persons different orders, and consequently, one should not try to imitate the behavior of Haridas Thakur without being ordered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or his representative. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur condemns such imitations in this way. So imitation is not good until we receive proper order. Then we can try to carry out. But we can think that, oh, Mahaprabhu is not here, and Prabhupada is also not here, so how am I going to receive my order? Well, we don't need to worry about that. We carry out Prabhupada's orders, whatever he has given in his books, and with time, everything will become clear. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, my dear mind, you're trying to imitate Haridas Thakur and chant the Hare Krishna mantra in a secluded place, but you're not worth being called a Vaishnava, because what you want is cheap popularity and not the actual qualifications of Haridas Thakur. If you try to imitate him, you will fall down, for your neophyte position will cause you to think of women and money. Thus you will fall into the clutches of Maya, and your so-called chanting in a secluded place will bring about your downfall. So, yes, because, see, if we are not ready and we take up some service, then Maya is definitely going to test us. Maya tested Haridas Thakur also. So who are we? We will definitely be tested by Maya. And if we are not fixed up, then we can fall down. I mean, there will be some obstruction in our bhakti. So better follow the orders, and Prabhupada's orders are to preach, chant, and preach also. So we do that, and then we'll be okay. Okay, I guess I can stop here. See anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, you all have safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.